All right, so this is going to begin in the car, and I've seen people do this, and so I guess I am excusing myself for talking in the car. Today I want to talk about something that it's something that you hear a lot about, but that is how do I put this? There is a lot of misconception about this topic. It is that of making beginnings. Whenever we make a choice to start something new, to make a change, to resolve to do something, you would think from all of the teachers and preachers and self-help gurus that it's simply a matter of choosing to make a change. But it's not that simple. I heard a fellow say one time that much of the self-help books and materials that are out there are kind of like playing the game of Frogger. Now, I've actually never played this game, but it's an old video game where you try to get your frog across the road without getting smushed by a car. And the self-help books were written by those who made it across the road. The ones who got smushed never write a book. So there has to be a strategy by which anything upon which a person resolves is made possible. Now, this isn't to say that everything upon which a person may resolve is right, or good, or useful. But if there is a strategy by which we can win, then that strategy must be one that, when applied, it is possible for each person to win. And so the thing which is missing in the Frogger mentality, or the view of, I succeeded, so I'm going to tell you how to succeed, is that it doesn't tell a person what to do when they can't. We understand this when it comes to disabilities, right? We get it when, someone has Down syndrome, or they have some physical disability. We understand that they can't be expected to be able to do everything that somebody that doesn't have the same disability can do. And this is not to say they cannot stretch their boundaries, and it's not to say that there can't be healing, and that they may not find answers that will help them to overcome that. but it's right there that we have to look a little bit closer, because what we're really looking at and what we're really looking for is a miracle. In the case where you discover that what you're trying to do is impossible. Now, it's easy for us to wrap our minds around the fact that someone may be disabled physically or mentally, and that may make them unable to accomplish a task. But whenever someone is disabled emotionally, spiritually, or in some other way, what we commonly do is say, look, here's what you do. You got to do. You just do it. So for example, if a person, I'm going under a bridge, if a person is disorganized, we say, well, what you need to do is organize your life and then it will go better. But what happens when they try and they fail, and they try and they fail long enough to realize that it ain't gonna happen? Something else is wrong. Something else is in the way. Well, in that case, then we find the need for something that lies in the realm of the unknown. There is something that has to change that we don't understand how to change. And so all of the lessons and the self-help books and all of those things which tell a person what they need to do just don't help when they discover that for some reason or another they are unable, and they keep getting squashed and they can't get to the other side of the road. And here we can't get around it. We cannot get around it, because in such instances, what is needed is a miracle. Now, that miracle may come through means that have an obvious outward manifestation. Or not manifestation, but they may come in ways that could appear to have been circumstantial. But nonetheless, we stand in the need of some sort of divine intervention. And this is the first linchpin in the strategy of how a person can win under any circumstance. How a person can transcend any obstacle. And fascinatingly and interestingly, it lies outside oneself. If it were within us, we would do it. We would make the change. And here I'm going to have a lot of people part ways with me or find fault with this. And if so, I hope that you'll hear it out. Well, I'm not going to say much more about it, because maybe I'll save some of it for another time. But excuse me. But we end up discovering, I lost my train of thought. But we end up discovering that we are at our wits' end, and we need something that lies in the realm of the unknown. And over that realm of the unknown reigns, what do you want to call it? The God of the unknown? And he's very unlike the God of success. The God of success will tell you exactly what to do when you have all the tools in your hand. But whatever you want to call it, and I challenge anybody to say that they have the God of the unknown or the powers of the unknown understood. But the intelligence which resides and which reigns over that which we don't know and don't understand plays by a completely different set of rules. It's in these moments, and this will sound probably slightly oversimplistic, but I'm surprised at how infrequently anybody is willing to try it. But the first principle of making headway when the answers won't come is to ask. Not to ask of books, not to ask of friends, not to ask of colleagues, and not to ask of colleges, and not to ask of politicians, and not to ask preachers, but to send the question out into the abyss of the unknown, unto that intelligence which you desire to know, that intelligence which is beyond your own. And it makes sense to a good extent. I'm already at 12 minutes, so I gotta finish this. It makes sense in a sense that it's like that which we don't know. Think about how little you know, and that which you don't know, it's got to be far more than what you know. So the intelligence which resides and which waits, listening for questions in the realm of the unknown. The unknown has to be more than the known. Can't you at least consider that what you don't know is more than what you know? Of course. Well, then there is more intelligence in the unknown than in the known. So, what is the beginning of the path when someone discovers they are at the end of their rope, and all of the platitudes don't work anymore? What is the logical thing to do? To ask. To throw that soul cry out upon the winds of the unknown, waiting, listening. And then is when silence speaks. It may not come today, it may not come tomorrow, but it comes. It's no game of Frogger. And if you want to call it God, the God of the unknown, the intelligence that resides in the unknown, does not pander to the successful, to those who have no need of that light which comes from that distant and great unknown. I hope this is helpful. If you're at your rope's end, ask. Put it out upon the winds, not to all the places that the successful and the strong turn, but to the place where they turn when There's nowhere else to turn. God bless you all.